Hello and welcome back. I've brought in my Alberta spruce mountain range, I suppose you could call it, hillside, whatever. Just need to do a bit of cleaning up on it. You see there's a lot of weed in it and stuff. We could do a little bit of pruning where the branches are split into 3. We could bring it back to 2 and stuff like that. I'm probably going to redo this in the spring. Probably should have done this spring again, another one I didn't get around to doing. There's a tree back here which I stripped one side of the bark and made it a feature of like a deadwood, like it'd been hit by lightning back there. But what happened is, as it tightened, the tree bent over, so as you can see it's kind of curved over, which isn't great. Still growing quite well. This is the top. This side obviously there's no growth. This tree in the centre here, this is the newest one I put in. Again, not great. This little one here, the back of it is getting no light, so that's not. The front's doing okay, but the back is dying off. There's a few adjustments I'd like to do. Maybe repot it up and take it all out. It probably needs repotting. I know it's been there a few years now. And tweak a few things, move a few trees, and maybe get rid of a few and get some new ones to add to it. Like get rid of this one, maybe this one. Some of these are okay on the outside, the inside where they're into the forest, which isn't too bad. I don't mind the inside dying off because that's what would happen in the forest anyway. But we'll see when the time comes. We might strip it. Now I can't get the whole planting in because the shed is too small, but that's basically it. I made the rock myself out of polystyrene and concrete, cemented it. I carved the polystyrene with a blowtorch and then I cemented over it and just dyed the cement. So it's a lot lighter than it looks. Still heavy enough, but a lot lighter than it would be if it was a rock, that's for sure. So first thing I'm going to do anyway is get rid of some of the weeds. So I'll just bring the camera in a little bit closer. You can see there it's quite weedy. I'm hoping that we can get the weeds out without completely destroying all the moss. Yeah, so I think next spring, well, from now on I might keep my eye open, and if I see any good Alberta spruce anywhere, I'll pick them up and we'll grow them on till next spring. And like that we might do it again and do a little bit more styling with them. This was done a few years back, and I think I could probably do a little bit better job now of designing what way I want them to be. The rock itself needs a bit of work too, so when I do strip them I might go over the rock again with a bit more cement, cover it again in places anyway. The back corner back there, you can't really see it there, in that back corner it got knocked so the concrete came off and the polystyrene is showing now, but things like that we can fix up. So once I get all these weeds out if I can. It's kind of not the easiest planting to water because being on the slope all the water runs down and runs off the moss, so you have to soak it a few times. What I might do when I redo it is do a path, make a path in it. I could even do that now. Make a path, and not so much for visual appearance, but if I make a path, then at least the water will soak through the path easier, whereas when it's running off the moss, it tends to just hit it and run quickly off, and then it doesn't soak in unless it's soaking for a good while. Whereas if I had a bit of a path on it, then that would give you an area where the water could soak into it. Work it in from here and just soak in down into the middle. Like, ideally I'd like to have the path winding, but for the sake of doing it, I might run it just kind of up and round the centre so that the water will get down into the pond. I'll just turn around a bit now here and just get to the back. Probably not going to see too great now. Just give this back a quick read, and then we'll have a look at the trees. Would like to have maybe done this with large trees rather than these spruce. I think it would have been good to do a large one, and maybe when I decide to repot it, I'll put these spruce into a pot and maybe do it with larch, or maybe even a mixture of trees. Maybe do some larch and something else. Okay, so we have it weeded. Now we'll just have a look at the trees themselves. This tree here is doing quite well, probably the strongest of them all. So what I'm going to do is, you can see with this branch here, you got 2 branches and then a third one coming off the top. They're all coming out the same place. So I'll take out the top one, leaving the 2 side ones, and anywhere where I can reduce it back a bit, like that I will. I've got a branch growing in here, so we'll take that one out. So this branch is kind of crossing over the top of this one. That's what's killing this one off, but I don't want to take that branch off. I'd rather lose the little tree than lose the big one. Again, we've got branches coming out in 3s, so we'll just reduce them back. Again, we've got 3 here. I'm not always taking out the centre one. If there's like, see, they're just 2 and 2 there, so they're alright. There's 3 there now. If you go back along, we have 3 here. But because there's a branch here, instead of taking out the centre one, I'll take out this one, leaving just these 2 on this side. Same here, because there's a branch here and there's 3 here. I'll take out this one so that there's a gap between the 2. You don't always have to take out the centre one. You want to kind of declutter it, so take out the one if need be, which is crossing into the other branch. No. Some dead stubs there, we'll take them out. Need to prune it back a bit so that light gets in, so we can get some back budding on it, so we can prune it a bit shorter, get it reduced in size. There's probably too many branches on this tree. There's a branch here, you could possibly take out that whole branch take out that bit anyway. Again, bring them down to 2. Take that whole branch off because there's one just above it. See, they're kind of pushing into each other. This branch back here is from the tree at the back. So you've got to kind of decide which branch, which tree you want to reduce. So just take off any dead stubs. This branch right back, this one tree behind, up the top here. That's okay, that's okay. We'll probably take that one out, and take that off there, and take that out completely. Take that one back to that branch. This one will be reduced to 2. This one we can take out completely. And then as we get to the apex, take that one back. One off there. Okay, so that's cleaned up that tree. So I'll just go through the rest of the trees. They're more or less going to be the same thing. Probably not as much because they're not as full as that one is. Just give them a quick going over and like that. Just to reduce them back a little bit. Nothing too crazy because they're quite weak, the trees. Well, the tops, the apex are doing quite good on them. They're filling out and growing strong, but as you get down the trees, they're not as strong. So we'll reduce the tops back a bit more to push some of the strength down. Okay, so I'll work on that and then we'll come back and have a look at it. Okay, so I've thrown quite a bit off. Probably can't notice it too much, but it's fair being taken off. That's what's left on the counter, and there's a load more gone in the bin, so I took off a bit. But you know, it's just one of these forests. Now there's a lot of kind of dead branches on it here and there, but to be honest, I kind of don't mind that. It kind of gives it kind of a realistic look. Now, my plan of making a path so that the water can get in. The other problem I might have then with that is when the water just run down the path. So maybe a winding path would be better. Because if I did it kind of straight down the middle, it'll just run down and wash all the sand or whatever out. So maybe I should kind of make a winding path. So that's what I'm going to do. Again, this is more for, because I wasn't really going to have a path in this, but this is more to let moisture down, let some water in, basically make a gully so that the water will run down it. So I'm just kind of scraping out a bit of a gully first. Yeah, let's try and move the camera over this way. a bit so I'm not standing in the way of it. So I make a gully, that way then the water can run into the gully and soak down, hopefully, into the soil, which will hopefully help to keep the trees watered. Come down here. Just go between them trees there. Maybe we'll come through between this way. This is, I think there's, as far as I can remember, the base of this, the bottom is filled with bonsai soil, and then the top is more just compost, as far as I can remember, to help the moss and that to grow. So once we kind of get through the compost a bit, like that, and then maybe we'll bring it round the back there. Now it's probably going to be in the way now. So we got it coming from up here, round here. It's going to come down here, round through here, round this one, so that the water will be basically soaking down into the roots of all them. And then if we bring it straight back here, we bring it round the back of that tree. It's right on the edge here, but even if we just run it off there, that'll be okay. It'll get to that tree then. Okay, so we'll just clear out that gully now. The compost. Now what I'll do is, I've got some kind of quite coarse bonsai soil, so I'm going to do in my little scoop. I'm going to put that in the gully first. Act like a soak away. I mean, it's okay, the trees are growing and watering it works, it just takes a long time. And now summer's here, you have to water it, and 2 or 3 times to get it to really soak in, and even then I'm not sure. I would say chances are it's still not completely soaked in. But this might just help a bit. Once there's a little path there, a little gully for the rain and no water to go into. We'll just cover that now with a bit of sand just to hold that in. And if it doesn't work, then there's no harm. Sure, it won't take long to cover over in moss again anyway. There. Okay, we'll give that a water and so on. We'll see if it will work. You can already see that the water's just disappearing into the pass. When I put it on the moss, you see it just runs off the moss and drips straight off. But when I put it on the pass, it just soaks straight in. So it should definitely help. There's no water running off. If the pass wasn't there now and I put that on, it'd be just streaming off. I'd have to do it 3 or 4 times to soak the moss before I could move it. Yeah, I can definitely reckon that's a success. Okay, I'm not going to water it too much. It's heavy enough to carry without filling it with water. Okay, it's a bit messy looking now, the pass, because it's all overflowing the moss, but as long as it's doing its job, eventually that will wash in. Yeah, that's definitely working. Okay, so hopefully we might see a bit more improvement in the trees now. We can get a bit more water. So I'll just give you a look at it now from a distance. Okay, so that's it now from a distance. You can see the whole thing. The rock and the trees. And my new pass definitely seems to help with the water. Like that. If it didn't, we just grow moss back over it, but if it helps, we'll leave it in. Again, it's just little things like that just help. You know, trying different things like that helps you come up with ideas of watering trees, things like that. So I like to just try different things like that. Again, like I said, we'll repot this probably in the spring next year and maybe redesign it. Maybe put some more trees in. Maybe make it a mixed forest. Maybe put some larch or something in there. I don't know. We'll see. But whichever, anyway. Don't forget to subscribe so you get to see how it goes. And we'll call this one done. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.